During the dinner celebrating our wedding anniversary with my wife's family, I stepped outside briefly to take a work-related call. It wasn't out of the ordinary. Being in IT support often meant being available even during personal occasions. Emily gave me a look as I left, a blend of mild frustration and reluctant understanding. Her parents, her two sisters, and her brother-in-law were all seated at the table, laughing and sipping wine. I quietly slipped out, phone in hand, pacing a few steps away from the side door of the restaurant. The call lasted barely 5 minutes, just a simple issue with a network that needed a quick fix. As I turned to head back inside, I caught a glimpse through the tall, narrow window on the restaurant door that gave me a clear view of our table. I hadn't meant to linger, but something pulled my attention. Emily was leaning in toward her brother-in-law, Tom, far too close for comfort. Her hand was gently placed on his wrist, and the smile she wore, it wasn't her usual one. It had a softness to it, almost flirtatious. She said something to him, and he responded with a laugh, his hand moving to her knee beneath the table. No one else noticed, but I did. I froze in place. My first instinct was to dismiss it. Maybe I had caught the wrong angle. Maybe it was a harmless moment taken out of context. But as I kept watching, I saw Tom slide something across the table, his phone. Emily glanced around cautiously, then looked down at the screen. She bit her lip and gave a small nod. Whatever was on that display, it wasn't innocent. I walked back in, keeping my expression steady. No one suspected a thing. Emily looked up at me with a warm smile, reaching out to hold my hand. The same hand that had just been touching Tom's. I smiled back, trying to bury the storm that had started to churn inside me. I needed time. Time to process, to be certain before jumping to conclusions. In the days that followed, I became more watchful. I didn't confront her. I wasn't ready to accuse without evidence. But her behavior shifted. Emily became more protective of her phone, turning the screen away when I entered the room. Late-night messages became more frequent, and she always said they were work-related. Tom, on the other hand, suddenly started finding reasons to avoid double dates or get-togethers. The energy between them had changed, and I could feel it. Eventually, I installed a keystroke logger on the laptop Emily occasionally used for remote work. It wasn't something I was proud of. I hated the idea of spying. But I needed the truth. What I discovered shattered me. Drafted emails never sent, messages typed out then erased, all pointing to a deep emotional entanglement and possibly more. One particular message stood out. I wish things were different. Sitting next to you at dinner nearly drove me crazy. He has no clue. The timestamp on it matched the night of our anniversary. I printed everything. Screenshots, messages, all of it. I sat for hours just staring at the pages. I didn't cry. I didn't explode. I just felt empty. The betrayal didn't only come from Emily, it came from Tom too. He wasn't just family by marriage, he was someone I'd trusted like a brother. I formulated a plan, careful, quiet, and calculated. I wasn't going to confront them in a fit of rage. I needed to be composed. The next time we had dinner with her family, I brought the folder with me. We returned to the same restaurant. Emily was all smiles, pretending nothing was wrong. Tom, however, looked noticeably uneasy. I waited. As dessert arrived, I calmly reached into my bag and slid the folder across the table to Emily. You left your work notes open, I said. The table fell into silence. Emily's face turned pale as she opened the folder and began to read. Her mother, puzzled, asked what was happening. Emily didn't respond. She stared at the pages, her hands trembling. I turned to Tom. Anything you'd like to share? His wife, Emily's sister, looked at him, visibly confused. What's he talking about, Tom? Tom stammered. At first, he tried to deny it, stumbling over his words. But then I began to list off the messages. The dates. The exact times. And he went quiet. Emily reached for my hand, her voice pleading, Can we talk about this in private? I shook my head. You didn't keep it private. So why should I? The silence around the table grew heavier. Her mother began to cry softly. Her father pushed his chair back and left the table without a word. I didn't cause a scene. I stood, thanked everyone for the meal, and walked away. That was the last time I saw Emily face to face. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers were delivered. I didn't ask for much, just peace of mind. She tried calling, sending message after message filled with apologies and regret. I never replied. People often assume betrayal comes crashing down in shouting matches and broken dishes. But sometimes, it arrives quietly, in a lingering glance through a window, a hand resting where it shouldn't, or a message that was never meant to be found. And once you've seen the truth, you can never unsee it.